Welcome to the SVG TV news for today, Friday, October 7th. I am Khalil Kato with the details. The flash flood watch, which was in effect for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, has been discontinued. However, residents and motorists in areas prone to flash flooding and landslides or near rivers and streams are asked to remain alert as a weak surface to low-level instability is affecting the islands. The latest update provided by the SVG Met Office says the forecast is partly cloudy to cloudy and slightly hazy, with pockets of light to moderate showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. The sea conditions are moderate in open waters with swells from 1.5 meters to 2.3 meters. Small craft operators and sea bathers are asked to exercise caution for occasional gusty winds and above normal sea swells. Taiwan's ambassador to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, His Excellency Peter Shally Lan, said that Taiwan will continue to work with SVG in its development. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Republic of Taiwan are celebrating 41 years of friendship. Taiwan has supported SVG in many areas, including education, health, empowering the youth, and construction of several key infrastructure, including the Rabuka Bridge. Speaking on the API's Morning SVG program, Ambassador Lan highlighted some of the projects that they are currently working on in SVG and that the Taiwanese government is fully committed to assisting SVG in further development in every sector.
The YES program to empower the youth and the SET program, and also some of other small-scale infrastructures. For example, we just saw the clip of the Villa Beach facility that was also supported by us. And then there are many learning centers. And currently, I know there are improvement on other beach facilities. So that's one part of it. But in addition to that, we are always looking to support the most vital infrastructures. I mean, everybody knows that we constructed the Rebecca Bridge, and we are there to build the terminal of the Argyle National Airport, also the National Public Library building, the Central Market building. Well, some of the people said it's an ugly building. I have to say it was designed by the Italians. We're only there to build it, right? So, but we're there. But currently, we're supporting other programs, for example, the Marriott Hotel, the new Parliament building. The most important one and the recent one is the 62 million US dollars we supported to assist the financial gap of the Kingstown Port modernization project, and we are proud of it.
His Excellency further thanked St. Vincent and the Grenadines for its assistance and support, especially in the campaign for Taiwan to join the United Nations system.
Opportunity to thank St. Vincent and Grenadines, the people and the government, for giving us all the assistance over the years. As you know, every year we try to have our campaign for Taiwan to join the United Nations system. That will include the WHO, ICAO, which is the civil aviation body, UNFCCC, which is the climate change body, and even Interpol, which the global police organizations, and all others. Prime Minister Gonzalez just gave a powerful speech in the United Nations supporting us, and he also led the delegation to visit us, including yourself, during this unnecessary military drill from China. So all, we want to thank St. Vincent and Grenadines for being a faithful friend. As I said, we are looking for a true friendship. That's why we always look for new opportunities to cooperate with St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Over 100 more Vincentians are expected to join the Sandals construction team at Bookament Bay as work ramps up on the construction and redesign of the resort. Speaking with the API on a tour of the site, Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Carlos James, said as work on the project increases, there is likely to be a great demand for skilled tradesmen. Minister James told the API that they are expected to see roughly around 300 persons being added in terms of the complement of the construction workforce, And at the completion of the work on the resort, it is projected that they will have 800 to 1,000 Vincentians being employed. Sandals represents one of the largest tourism investment projects in the country, and the tourism minister said this would no doubt see the expansion of tourism on the mainland. Minister James said they are hoping to fill rooms by early 2024. Minister James also pointed out that a brand such as Sandals would mean an increased marketing of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a premier tourist destination. Currently, some 200 workers are already employed at Sandals' Buckerman site. With challenges faced over the past weeks with heavy rainfall, Member of Parliament for North Windward, Montgomery Daniel, said that the Bailey bridges are underway for the river crossings, but some restructuring and redesigning is taking place. In an interview with the Agency for Public Information, the API, Minister Daniel said that the bridge at Noel River is facing a lot more problems than the one at Overland, and they are working to increase the heights of the bridges. The bridges aim to reduce or possibly eliminate the difficulty in access to and from the communities north of Rabaca. However, for the past month, the installation of the bridges faced several challenges.
Yes, we are here at Noel. The equipment is in the river, trying to take out the extra deposits that would have come down within the last 2 days. It is really a worrying situation for us. In terms of commuting, it is indeed terrible. The designs for these temporary bridges, of course, the foundations are established at 3 feet into the ground. Then the abutment from the foundation walls upwards is 15 feet. And from the top of the abutment walls is an extra 3 feet, where that would take the steel structure to adjoin the 2 ends of the abutments. So you have a structure of approximately 18 feet for the foundation and abutments to take the Bailey Bridge coming across. However, here in Noel, as you see, the deposits are already at the top of the abutments. Because of that, 2 weeks ago, I had to ask the Office of the Chief Engineer to intervene and to have further discussions with the Ministry of Economic Planning to review their design, particularly for here at Noel, because the height of this present structure will not suffice.
Minister Daniel said there are also engineering problems to be considered while raising the structures of the Bailey bridges.
There is an engineering problem, however, in raising this structure to another 3 or 4 foot or so. Because if you raise this a little higher, it gets above the height of the existing road. And so there has to be some further designing as to how you can take this height and giving you back the levels to which you want to have. Here at Noel, we have not done any work for the last week or so because, as you see, we have to do some redesigning and of course remove the silt in the meantime so that we can have easier access for work to be done here on this site. This site is challenging, and when you look at what we are doing here at Noel in terms of establishing these abutments as against what is being done in the Overland River, it is much clearer that in the Overland River things look much more normal. Things look much more appreciating, that you can see the height from the foundation, the abutment walls, and to the extent that the water will have enough room to pass through. Though, after the establishment of these Bailey bridges, of course, like what is being done in the Rabaca River, where from time to time you go in and you excavate some of the material that would have been deposited over time.
The North Windward MP said that though he is unsure of the time frame it will take for the installation of the Bailey bridges, he is certain that the one at Overland River will be completed before that of Noel River.
I do not have any time frame at this point in time. What I can say to you, once the designs are done, I'm told that it takes about 10 to 12 weeks for you to be able to drive on that facility. So that by and large you have the existing designs, but just a matter of doing some adjustments. And I don't think that would really take that long. But I don't want to give any guesstimate. It is going to be finished much quicker than this one. They are already, in terms of the abutments, the 2 abutments are almost completed. And once they are completed, of course, and you establish the steel frame onto it, my understanding is that you give it some 3 to 4 weeks for curing, and we have it from there on.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Indian Heritage Foundation is today celebrating 140 years of Indian heritage in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Indian Heritage Day received recognition on March 26, 2007, on the recommendation of then Minister of Culture Rene Batiste, and Parliament, with full support, passed an act declaring June 1st Indian Arrival Day and October 7th Indian Heritage Day. Speaking with SVG TV News, President of the SVG Indian Heritage Foundation, Junior Bacchus, says that this is the 15th year that Indian Heritage Day is being celebrated. He noted that the foundation recognizes the struggles, sacrifice, hard work, and dedication of their Indian ancestors and will continue to cherish and preserve the legacy they have left.
October is a significant and important day for the people in the Indian community here. 140 years ago today, 50 Indians marched from the Argyle estate, joined by other Indians coming from several other estates on their way into Kingston to protest the conditions that they were experiencing on those estates. Those 50 Indians, and along with the others who joined in from several other estates coming down that way, were able to convince the administrator at the time of the need for them to look into the demands that they were claiming, for example, improving the conditions on the estate, providing the opportunities for them to return to India as was provided in the contract. In spite of this, they were all prosecuted. In fact, they were charged under the act at the time for a crime called vagabondry, and many of them, while they didn't go to prison, they experienced the full force of the law.
Bacchus said that the foundation was unable to organize much face-to-face activities to commemorate the day. However, they will conclude those that are being held virtually with stories of the Indian elders.
Encouraging Vincentians who support the heritage of Indians and the Indian community as a whole to use today as an opportunity to reflect on the heritage that they have experienced coming out of India. We encourage persons to wear Indian wear today. We encourage persons to eat Indian food, a lot of Indian cuisine. They may not be authentic Indian food here because we don't have the kind of spices to really do the right kind of Indian food. But we have in the Caribbean roti, we have dal and rice, we also have like doubles. So eat something Indian today, and you are going to be somehow showing your solidarity and support for the Indian community.
Bacchus further noted that the Indian Heritage Foundation is still lobbying with the government of SVG for a piece of land in the Argyle area to build a heritage park.
We would like to have that piece of land to build a heritage park, a complex for cultural and other type of activities for people of Indian origin. A commitment was made through the National Trust for the government to provide us, and the Indian government has already committed to provide some support for the construction of a heritage site in the Argyle area. So we still are lobbying and working towards that. So I want to thank all those who have been supporting the foundation as we continue to bring to the forefront the heritage of our Indian people.
Vincentians are being encouraged to save a life by donating blood with laboratory services at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. This encouragement comes from staff nurse Rochelle Graves during an appearance on NBC Radio's Face-to-Face program this morning.
For saving life, blood donation is where you save somebody's life, and it's also good for you as an individual. At one time, we take, it's called 1 unit or a pint. This is equivalent to 450 mils of blood. So that's the amount we take at any one time for an individual for the donation. They're allowed to rest for 15 minutes where we observe them, we assess them, we ensure that they're safe and ready to go back out. We give them some guidelines after the donation, which is called post-donation guidelines. So we encourage them to drink a lot of fluids after the donation. This is key in replacing the fluid volume in which they would have lost from the donation, right? We also give them a complimentary drink, which is a malt, just to start their fluid process. And we encourage them to drink lots of fluids throughout the day. It can be simply water, juice if you want, but we recommend drinking a lot of fluids throughout the day so that your body would be regained of what you would have lost within that period of the donation.
Outlining the process of donating blood to the blood bank at the hospital, Graves says that persons eligible to donate blood fall between the age group of 17 and 65 once they are in good health.
You have from the ages of 17, male and female, they can donate blood up to the age about 60, 65 once they're in good health, because we do a physical to assess to verify whether or not you can donate blood within those age groups. 17 is basically, you're entering to the new level of maturity. We don't want you to be under that because your body mass has to be a particular size. So you're not supposed to be under 110 pounds. So we assume by that age, your body would have fully developed to the capacity that we need it for the donation. And then we don't want you to exceed over 65 because some persons may not be in good health because, at that age, you're basically going back to your, childhood-like stage in the sense that your body is experiencing different changes. You're not probably fully fit at that age, whereas we have some persons who may be at the age of 65 and they can still give once they would have been given blood from a young age.
The 6 finalists in the Lions Club St. Vincent South Flow Secondary School's public speaking competition have been named. They are Condoleezza Brown, representing the Georgetown Secondary School, Faith English of the St. Vincent Girls High School, Derissa James of the Union Island Secondary, Oscar Brown of the St. Martin Secondary, Elrose Millington of the Thomas Saunders Secondary, and Andre Bowman of the Mountain View Adventist Academy. The top 6 speakers were selected from a pool of 9 participants who took part in the zonal preliminaries from October 4th to 6th. This is the 22nd year that the Lions Club St. Vincent South has been hosting the competition. The competition returned this year after an absence in 2021. The 2020 competition was won by the St. Vincent Girls High School, who was represented by Marika Batiste. The final is slated for Tuesday, October 25th at the Methodist Church Hall at 7 p.m. and students will speak on the topic, Governance Systems Around the World Were Challenged in Response to the COVID-19 Pandemic. Many governments bundled the economic, health, and civil liberties response. After a 2-year absence, the National Madungo Festival is back. This is according to manager of the Arrowroot Association, Selmon Walters, who, at the launch of the National Independence Program of Activities on Tuesday, said they're hoping to get the slogan by the end of this week from a competition held in the secondary schools in the North Windward area so that they can begin marketing the festival, which will be held on Independence Day, October 27th.
After all, it is not just like that. I mean, you have to give them some incentive to do it. So the winner from that school for that competition will get $500. The first runner-up will get $300, and the second runner-up will get $200. It's a mean of involving the people in the Arrowroot zone, giving back something more or less, and get them involved in taking care of what is indeed their patrimony. Normally, when you come to Madungo Festival, you come to eat. Basically, you come to eat and have fun. So you're going to have the normal cuisine, the Madungo bakes, the fungi, and Madungo bakes with blackfish, with saltfish, with fried fish, and then you're going to have the fungi sauce with the fish sauce and all that, and tremendous amount of drinks would also be there. So we want everybody to come to Madongo Fest on Independence Day. Normally when you leave the park on that morning, all road leads to Wabaka for that grand event.
Another event on the program of activities for Independence is Soca Chronicles, which will take the form of a showcase and project. Coordinator Chawali Johnson says Soca Chronicles is a tribute to Raga Soca, which was founded in SVG in the 1970s by Alston Beckett Cyrus and Frankie McIntosh. He says the showcase will be held on October 30th at the Arnesville playing field.
We saw it fit that in order to turn the tide, right, we needed to enter into the schools, right, using artists, using producers, using historians of the art form, enter the schools and educate persons about the music and the history of soca in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I see a person here for the Minister of Education. We will be speaking with you soon. We'll also be speaking with Ashford. Well, we did already, but just to get some more information across. And also Maxine, because we are not just paying tribute to Raga Soca through song and musicianship. We're also doing it through dance and also through mass. Right, so when it comes to Soca Chronicles, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so yes, the project is about going into the schools, also utilizing the school bands initiative. The school band initiative is about how many years old now, Mr. Small? About 5 years old now, and we see a lot of young persons getting into playing music, singing different genres of music. So we want to use the school bands initiative to push Raga Soca forward. Right, and as an end product of it, we'll have 2 or 3 of those persons performing in the Soca Chronicles event.
Soca Chronicles is being incorporated into a project involving the youth. Johnson says it is all about paying tribute to SVG's music by owning the music and having a sense of pride in our own music.
Some of the persons you can see performing live at the show, because we'll be using a live band. That is very important. Live band, live musicianship. That was one of the things that was really big in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we need to get back to that. Okay, so some of the persons you'll be seeing on the night: Hyper 4000, Nikki, Chanel, Hans, Dimes and the Pixel, Dynamite, Diffusion, Jace, and many others. Like I said before, we'll be paying tribute to Raga Soca through dance, through song, musicianship, and mass. Okay, so a lot more to see at Soca Chronicles, October 30th. A lot more to see and hear. I'll make a brief appearance. So October 30th, the Arnesville playing field, starting time 7 p.m. not Vinci time, 7 p.m. all time. Okay, so be early and be prepared to be blown away by an all local cast of artists, musicians, dancers, and builders.
Agricultural Officer in charge of Agricultural Region 2, Donowa Jackson, and the Area Extension Officer, Alston Lynch, on Wednesday this week visited several farmers in Backwater in the Montreal area located in District 5 West. In a news release, the Ministry of Agriculture says the objectives of the field visits were to examine spacing measurements, planting materials, selection and storage, fertilizer types, and application methods in Dasheen and Eddowes. It says based on what was observed, farmers were advised to properly select and store planting materials, apply fertilizers away from the base of the plants, thoroughly prepare the planting holes, and use the recommended spacing as much as possible. The ministry says these field visits and assessments with regard to the recommended agronomic practices for Dasheen and Eddowes are ongoing and are aimed at increasing yield per acre. Commissioner of Police Colin John will lead a 12-member delegation to the commemoration of the Regional Security System's 40th anniversary in Grenada. The milestone will be celebrated with several events over the period October 9th to 13th. The delegation will include the commander of the SVG Coast Guard Service, Lieutenant Commander Dion Henry, and 10 officers, 5 each from the RSVG Police Force and the SVG Coast Guard, who will participate in a military parade to mark the occasion. Some members of the delegation will leave the state on Saturday, October 8th on board the Captain Mulzac. The RSS was established in October 1982 with 5 countries: Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Since then, the organization has grown to 8 members, including Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, which acceded to the RSS Treaty on September 13, 2022 to become a member. The RSS was created out of a need for a collective response to security threats that were impacting the stability of the region in the 1970s and 80s.